There's the Presto non tanto, last movement from Chopin's Third Piano Sonata. The incomparable Martha Argerich performing last year in Hamburg to an empty hall for a COVID performance. And
what an amazing performance.
It's totally astonishing, and she's nearly 80 and she's playing like a 16-year-old.
All the fire that you could ever possibly want.
Exactly. She is completely undiminished. Oh, g'day, Franks.
Hey, Frank. G'day, Steve.
Hello. Yeah, look, I watched a doco on her last night. It's rare for me to sit down and watch a whole documentary. I get very fidgety watching things at length on the screen. But look, this compelled me from beginning to end, and Kate and I watched it together. It was a program. It's a doco called Bloody Sister, and it's all about Stephanie Argerich, who's the daughter of one of the three children Martha had to different partners, and she is like an amateur filmmaker, and she documented her life with her mother all the way from a young teenager right through to very recent times. And she had great affection for her mum and her father. Her father is Stephen Kavavich, yes, and so it documents the family, and it paints a very reverent and look, a very moving portrait of Martha Argerich, and just you get an insight into her extraordinary prowess, and the difficulties that ensued as well, being a concert artist over a very long period. But I thought it was really well done. It's rare for a documentary to sort of hold up this well, I thought. Most of it's in French and some of it's in English. And but look, there's not a lot of dialogue. It's just sort of vignettes, snapshots of their lives. And I thoroughly commend it. It is just fantastic to watch. And you get an insight into her personality, and she's very, very natural under the camera, is Martha Argerich. And she has this childlike whimsy in the way that she sees everything in the world. She's uncomplicated in that sense, and I think she experiences emotion in a very direct way, and you can hear that in her playing. And the very fact that her playing is just so undiminished in any sense, it's just she's playing with complete control at this age. I don't think there's anyone anywhere that's ever achieved that. And she had that very, very rare ability to hear a work once and play it back perfectly by memory.
Oh, my God.
And there's only a few people in history who've had that skill. And it's like it's photographic or oral photographic memory, where she can hear something as a totality, and it just somehow, its linear qualities manifest, and as a total experience.
So, did you hear all the harmonies and remember them as well?
Yeah, totally. It's an extraordinary musician.
I can't comprehend.
Well,
that.
sort of. It's to me, it's impossible.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It just seemed, if someone said this is what they're doing, I would not believe them.
Yeah. Well, she apparently they didn't dwell upon the sort of her remarkable prowess in that sense. They dealt more with her humanity and the way that she related to people around her, and the way that she interpreted music as well. Just her sort of whimsical insights. But I really I really warmed to her throughout the doc, and I commend it. It's really worth seeing. But that performance was from last year, and that's her, I suppose, her statement to in the midst of very complicated times.
She's Hungarian, isn't she?
She's Argentinian born.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, but I think she's got French. No, she doesn't. I think she's got some Polish heritage. She's certainly got Jewish heritage and some Spanish heritage as well.
Oh.
So, yes, I think there's a few different international dimensions to her background. But look, her kids absolutely revered her, and they went on tour with her, and she was gentle and she was tender with them. And that's the other thing that really came across in this doco, is how tender she was, and how there was a beautiful relationship she had with her kids, although life was complicated because she was touring all the time. And but anyhow, look, it's something that's on the radar. So we'll play the entire sonata at the end, I think, today. I'd like to hear the whole thing again.
Are any of the kids musos?
Yes, her oldest child is a viola player, and I don't think her younger two play music. But they're sort of. I'm not sure exactly what they do, to be honest. But her youngest daughter, who made the film, is I I suppose she's dabbling in media in one sense or another. It's won a lot of awards, this particular thing, but it's great not to have it's great to have a documentary without just talking heads every 2 seconds. It just had a lot of space, and it just let these little episodes tell a story, and little sort of reality excerpts from their life, family life, at different points, beautifully edited, and held its own very well. So there we go, Martha Argerich to herald today's missions, and what we'll do now is do what we always do, and a random record off the shelf happens to be an old Electrobeam Angelus 78 from about 1928. It's a recording of Vincent Lopez and his Casa Lopez Orchestra, and a Night in June, vk3sl. Deteriorated 78s I played for a very long time. It's been played with a rusty steel needle over generations. It was actually Happy Days Are Here Again, not June Night. June Night is the next record.
That was the theme to the Channel 9 Kids session.
Oh, really?
In 1950, Mumble.
Oh, okay.
With Happy Hammond being the compere. And
really?
The gorgeous Susan Gay Anderson.
Oh, excellent.
Who I bore a lot of teenage lust for.
Oh, my gosh. Well, there we go. Happy Days Are Here Again. Well, I thought it was a fitting way to... whenever there's a sunny day, I've got to find something a bit upbeat and, something to paint a good picture. Oh, that's nice to hear. Happy Hammond.
Happy Hammond.
Yes, it'd be good to find a version played on the Happy Hammond organ. Maybe there is one out there.
Yeah, that's right. Happy Hammond organ.
There could be.
I never heard that referred to.
You never know. They always sound happy. I know Monty Python did a sketch about a Hammond organ player, and it's quite sort of repulsive, and it's got this overweight guy completely in the nude sitting playing a Hammond organ with a sort of a smile that's too big for his face, looking sideways at the camera. And it's just this ghastly.
I get the picture.
Yes, I think it sort of caricatures the slightly vulgarness of something. Yeah, there we go. That wasn't Happy Hammond. It was Vincent Lopez and his Casa Lopez Orchestra. Interesting how they used to use there's electron records and there's electrobeam records, and they obviously were trying to sort of grab the public's attention with modern terminology. Yes, trying to get people into the sphere. Okay, well, here's the recording of June Night, and it's the Bell Sisters. I don't know anything about the Bell Sisters. Another sister group, I presume. I don't know. Do they ring a bell?
No
Boom,
bells,
boom?
no.
No, the Bell Sisters. Okay.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. Look, I have no idea who the band is on this. It'll be something very 50s, I expect. It's on an HMV, and it would have to be from that golden period around about 1951 or thereabouts. Let's have a listen to the Bell Sisters and Night in June.
Just give me a June night, the moonlight, and you in my arms with all your charm, these stars above, and we'll make love. I'll hold you and fold you, then dreams will come true. So give me a June night, the moonlight, and you. Just give me a June night, the moonlight, and you in my arms with all your charm, these stars above, and we'll make love. I'll hold you and fold you, then dreams will come true. So give me a June night, the moonlight, and you.
The Bell Sisters.
I think there are only two of them.
Yeah, it did sound like just a duet, not a trio.
Yeah, maybe there's another one somewhere.
There could have been, yeah. Conducting the orchestra, maybe.
Yeah, that's right.
Who knows? Anyhow, it's of its times, and it gets a tick, that record. I liked it. I think it had a nice vibe, nice upbeat
It
50s.
down, didn't it?
Yes, that's right. It's like having a peppermint spray, isn't it?
Yeah, you like that.
This next one is another one of these kaleidoscopic recordings with Les Baxter. It's more of his exotica. He just had this amazing percussion section and larger-than-life orchestrations, and it's very soupy, Mantovan-esque and all of those things. But I think these records deserve to be listened to because they fit the lounge music genre, and they probably created the lounge music genre, and it's on an old Capitol, Les Baxter in the orchestra, and Cherry Pink. think if that record had been released on an LP, it would feature probably a scantily clad Polynesian young woman with a skirt made of bananas with a palm tree behind, and something of that kind. That's the sort of thing that Les Baxter represented in his music, Exotica.
That was actually a minor hit, about the mid-50s.
Oh, was it? Okay.
And it had more of a South American flavour.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was done by someone like Perez Prado or someone like that.
Really?
I don't think it was him, but it was someone like that.
Yeah.
Could have been Xavier Cougar or someone. But it was a pleasant song. Pleasant, not a bit. It is a song. It's got words.
Okay. Very, very good. I like it's the little bit of a mudslide in the middle.
Yeah, it did that. That was the big sort of feature of it. Except in the hit version, it was just one trumpet doing it.
Oh, really? Okay. Did the the sort of the lazy portamenti in the middle of the song?
Oh, totally, totally.
I like keen to hear what's on the other side. I really like these Les Baxters. We should find Mr. Stadium Apartments. Remember Mr. Stadium Apartments, who came up on the missions years ago?
Yes. Oh, certainly.
Yeah, he was really into lounge music.
Was he really?
Yeah, he certainly had a lounge music station. A
really?
narrowcar station.
Good heavens.
Playing lounge music. There's Baxter all day. Now on the other side, it's Play Me Hearts and Flowers. Well, It's got add chorus and orchestra, of course, obligatory. Les Baxter, it's on a capital. I think we'll have to hear side B. It's got to be played. I think we're moving towards a slightly instrumental session.
Wonderful. Afternoon.
I spent lonely hours since she said goodbye. Baby, hearts and flowers, I wanna cry on my ivory tower, tumble from the sky. Baby, hearts and flowers, I wanna cry. You saw us together, so you wanna know just why I feel like I do. Do me a favor, I beg of you, Joe. Play me a heartache or two. When a romance sours, smiles are just a lie. Play me hearts and flowers, and let me cry. When a romance sours, smiles are just a lie. Maybe hearts and flowers, and let me cry.
So spooky. Music of Les Baxter. That's I'm drifting now. I've levitated. We're sort of off in the airborne lilo into the ether. Yes, Les Baxter instrumental selection, it seems, at this part of the box.
They had words.
Yeah, yes, it certainly did. That track did, and I like these arrangements. They're sort of.
He's a very good arranger.
Yeah, I think so. No, it's beautifully arranged. No, that one definitely gets a tick.
Did a lot of hits. I mean, he backed a lot of singers in the 50s.
Sure. Yes.
The Capitol.
Yes, he was one of the mainstays at Capitol.
He certainly was.
Les Baxter, and he made a number of special albums featuring his large percussion section, which he used to great avail. And another one from the Little Village Band. I thought it was the Little River Band.
They were a bit later. They're very good too.
Yes, they are. But this one's the Little Village Band, and I think it's going to be sort of brass bandish. It's an AWA radiola record, and again, I think it's probably in that light muzak instrumental category. But why not? Let's have a listen. That wasn't the Little River Band or the Village People, but rather the Little Village Band.
Very good.
Called Greetings. Yes, very upstanding, noble piece of brass band music there.
I think it's good to it helps put you in a good mood.
Yes.
That sort of music.
I think so. Definitely. No, it's nothing like a good bit of brass band music.
Speaking of which, I woke this morning with a little bit down, and I was just tuning around on the radio, and I heard something that really just lifted me.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't great music particularly, but it was just did the right just what I needed to hear at the time. And it is a song written by Carole King called The Hard Rock Cafe.
The Hard Rock Cafe. Okay. Do you know who was performing it? Was it?
Well, she recorded it.
Oh, Carole King.
She wrote it and recorded it.
Oh, great. Oh, I'll do that. I'll do a dial-up on that.
Yeah, look, you could do worse. It's just good time.
It sounds excellent.
Happy music.
Well, I'll do that, and while I'm doing it, I'll just quickly whip up this rather silly record with Denise Law.
Sorry to...
No, not at all. I'll just play this now because it gives me a chance to fire the iPad's gone to sleep. And we'll hear Denise Law and a track called, it's really trivial, but it's, it's there and it's rather worn, but we'll play it anyhow. It's called Butterfingers. And and while you're doing that, I'll have a good look for the Hard Rock Cafe. It sounds most intriguing. vk3sl, testing.
vk3sl.
Oh, Butterfingers, 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 shame on you. Butterfingers, 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 get some glue. You're missing with your kissing, ain't you ever gonna listen? My careless lovey-dove, Butterfingers, shame on you. You can't hold on to love. The first time that you fell in love, she broke your heart in two. And all because you couldn't see the careless things you do. The next time that you fell in love, the story was the same. So if you fumble with my heart, you'll have yourself to blame. You, Butterfingers, 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 shame on you. Butterfingers, 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 get some glue. You're missing with your kissing, ain't you ever gonna listen? My careless lovey-dove, Butterfingers, shame on you. You can't hold on to love. The way you keep on dropping things with your two careless hands. It looks as if you're trying hard to juggle all my plans. I guess I must be stuck on you to love you like I do. But honey, you better hold me tight or I'll go slipping through your Butterfingers, 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 Butterfingers. Shame, shame on you. Butterfingers, 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 Butterfingers. Get some glue. You're missing with your kissing, ain't you ever gonna listen? My careless lovey-dove, Butterfingers, shame on you. You can't hold on to love. Oh, Butterfingers, 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 shame on you.
There we go, a bit of 1950s trivia. Denise Law and Butterfingers on a Mercury 78. And now in the interim, I've been able to awaken the sleeping iPad, and we've queued up this recording of Carole King and Hard Rock Cafe. Great suggestion. I'm always happy to play any track that's sort of a mood lifter of any kind. That Chopin earlier on did it for me. And it's always nice to hear. So let's hear, Carole King, Hard Rock Cafe, vk3sl.
Put your money on a number anyone can play.
what a great suggestion. Frank, thank you for that. Great song.
It's a good song, isn't it?
It's a good upbeat. It's very La Bamba-esque, isn't it?
Very La Bamba. I think it owes a bit to La Bamba.
I think it does, but I love it. It's great. Carol King.
He's a very talented writer and singer, Carol.
Yeah, it's good. Oh, look, do you mind if we play La Bamba, another version of La Bamba? We played the Richie Valens one a few days ago, but there's another version it's always been on my radar, and that's the Trini Lopez version of La Bamba.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah, so let's just keep the La Bamba theme going. We'll bounce along to the music of Trini Lopez. vk3sl testing.
La Bamba! Porque tengo muchachas ya 15 a 20 y arriba y arriba, arriba y arriba y viviré, por ti seré, bamba, 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 bamba. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, 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 hey. Bamba, 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 bamba. Que vamos a bailar la bamba, que vamos a bailar la bamba, muchachita muy bonita.
South American summer flavours there.
Oh, yeah.
Trini Lopez, and there are many, many different versions. Of course, there's
He
the
was
slow ones.
considered quite a guitarist of note.
Okay.
Gibson produced a signature guitar for his caller Trini Lopez.
Did they really?
Yeah, they still do. You can buy them out today. Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters plays one.
Oh, there you go.
They're like a 335, an archtop Gibson with the semi-hollow body.
Yeah.
But the headstock on them is more like a Fender Stratocaster. It's sort of just stylistically a little bit different. But yeah, it's a Trini Lopez. They're a current model, and they're not cheap. They're a very good guitar, and so yeah, to get Gibson to make him to make a signature, obviously they hold him in high regard.
Oh, that's great. It's nice to get that back. Yeah, it certainly is. It's nice to hear about these sort of little anecdotes and hear these players that sort of, I don't know, help define the medium.
He was sort of a bit instrumental, pardon the pun, but in the surf genre too for a while. Like he was a big force in it.
Okay, he's still going strong. I just had a look up, and there's a record of him. I won't play it now, but there's a recording of him about last year or the year before. There's an old fellow up on stage singing La Bamba. It's still in his blood.
Yeah, it's good.
It's great, isn't it? So,
good.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's
Shame we can't hear Richie Valens doing it.
Yeah, I know. So did he write it, or who wrote it?
It's sort of derived from a folky sort of song, isn't it,
Yeah.
Frank? Do you know much about?
I think so. Yeah, it's I'm not sure of its origins, but I from just the lore around it, it's such a revered and loved song in the Latin world that I think it's got its origins in a bit of their folk, and yeah, perhaps that sort of flamenco origin.
Sure.
Richie didn't claim to have written it.
Okay.
He was only a kid. He was only 17 when he recorded, or 16 maybe.
Yeah, I wonder if there's. It would be interesting to do some research on this, see if there are any earlier versions. Probably some really generic folk versions of the piece around. Who knows?
Yeah. Probably are. They probably are.
Oh, it'd be worth checking. Well,
It's a great little 3-chord number, isn't it?
it certainly is. That's all it takes, and the piece carries itself. It's just got so much flavour.
That was Mr. Dylan's line, wasn't it? All you need is a guitar, 3 chords, and the truth.
Did he invent it, did he? Sounds like Bob.
That was his saying, yeah, about his songwriting, because of course he got criticised, about a lot of quite the structure of his songs, a lot of them 3-chord, very similar. Well, that's all you need, a guitar, 3 chords, and the truth.
Well, there we go.
Wrong.
Yeah, that's right. Just need a little bit of the poetry, and it's the words and it's the tune, and you don't need much else. Well, look, where to go now? I don't want to sort of go back to sort of soporific
I
stuff.
Disrupted the theme.
I jumped over into the 16-inch transcription stash and picked out one of Xavier Cugat. I haven't even sampled this. Don't know what it is, but it's Latin. It's from the 50s, and we'll just see, I suppose. Shall we just give it a whirl?
Certainly.
Let's have a listen. I don't even know what the name of the track is, and it's winding its way up. Hasn't been used for a while, this machine. I think we've got enough momentum. Helps if I switch it in. There we go. vk3sl testing. Hey, still not there. What's going on? Oh, it's the wrong one. It's the buyer. we go. That was Xavier Cougar, and I can't read the label. Unless
Now, that track, I'm pretty sure, featured in another form. I'm trying to remember the title now, but I'm pretty sure that was on the Pulp Fiction soundtrack.
Oh, really? It's called Mizzaloo. Mizzaloo, yeah.
Yeah. There's a version that was featured. Tarantino obviously loves it, and there's a different version. Hang on, let me look it up. Who does it?
Okay. Oh, I could do a follow-on. That'd be good. I like it's sort of more related to the Les Baxter stuff we were playing.
Yeah, it's in that idiom, isn't it?
It is. It's that sort of expansive, large life orchestration with plenty of percussion elements in it. And
with a bit of a Latin feel.
Yeah, a bit of a Latin vibe. It's hard to know which are the upbeat and which are the not on these records. So
That's right.
it was a bit of a lucky dip, but we found something, and if we can follow on, that would be most excellent. Always like points of departure. But no, I've got Hard Rock Cafe on the list now.
Good.
That was good to hear.
It's a feel-good song, isn't it?
It is a feel-good song. It's great. Yeah, good value. Most excellent. So we'll see if we got another version of this.
Yeah, it is. It's
So can we? If we can find a linkety pink.
If you just do a search for Mizzaloo Pulp Fiction, you should find it on
Okay.
YouTube.
Yeah, we'll do. MISSIRLIRL. Oh, you've got to be very particular because I can't spell. Mizzaloo and Pulp Fiction. I know how to spell that. There we go. Drum roll. Here we go, Pulp Fiction, Mizzaloo, it's here. We'll just do a quick referral and then we'll hear the same track in a different guise. Cross-referencing.
Excellent.
vk3sl testing.
Well done, Frank.
Yeah, great stuff.
Oh, surfer music.
Yeah.
It was in that version, Dick Dale and the Daltones.
Right. Okay. What, that version we just heard then?
Yeah.
Dale, isn't it?
Yeah, Dick Dale and his Daltones. Yeah, that's who performed that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's the theme to a show that I hear every Sunday morning on Triple R called Radiotherapy, which is a gang of doctors talking about all sorts of things and telling it like it is in the medical profession.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I reckon they probably pulled it because of Pulp Fiction, the influence of it basically that track went viral after Pulp Fiction, and had this huge resurgence because of that movie.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's a great track.
It certainly is. What's that other big spaghetti western song that I think Doug Ayton used to have at the beginning of his program?
Is it Ennio Morricone from The Good, the Bad and the Ugly?
That's the one.
Yeah, the Clint Eastwood, yeah.
The good.
Well, which is great because Ennio passed recently, and his music's fabulous.
Yes. Let's hear the theme. I won't play the full movie. I'll play the theme. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh yes, I remember doing this once in a orchestra transcription, and it was so much fun. Yeah. All right. Well, we'll just do a cue, and we've got to hear this now. So I'm not sure what version it is, but we'll go with the flow and discover as we go. A little bit of Latin influence today. vk3sl testing, and we are ready. Now I'm going to do a little bit of a fade-o-matic there. I don't usually like cutting things short, but it is an extended version. It's with the Danish National Symphony Orchestra.
Terrific.
It's a good version. Yes, they're all having a go, and it's
Great sounds.
Yes, that's right. And they've got a
Love a bit of reverb.
Yes, the orchestral.
Absolutely.
They've got a choir, and the orchestral percussion players are all playing interesting. There's a gourd, I think, and there's a recorder and saxophone, cor anglais. They're all getting a Guernsey in that performance.
To the whistling in it. It's great.
Yeah, it's really clever. So that's the first section. It sort of goes on, and but I would like to. It's a short version, but I'd like to hear the original. And I did manage to dial that one up. So I think this is the one that people would mostly be familiar with from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. vk3sl testing.
Wow.
Music of Harry Morricone and the good and the bad and the ugly. The main theme from the film. And there we go.
I love how he's woven the military cadence drum beat into the core of it too, because I don't know if you recall the film, but it's set on a backdrop of war.
Yes.
During the time of the Civil War.
That's right. It is. Yep, you got the military drum beat there, and you've got those quadruple tugging and the machine gun rapid fire and the trumpets. It's all happening there, highly animated. And it's a clever score because it also evokes expansiveness of the desert and the dust.
That comes through very well, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Yeah, great song. Now, do I do a backflip or do we sort of continue this theme?
We're in charge.
We could do. Is there anything else comes to mind of this ilk? Otherwise, I'll do a triple backflip and go back to Red Foley. I don't know. I don't mind.
Nothing occurs to me.
Okay, well, we can suspend this one because these themes are all. See, we've lit the fuse now, and all it takes is just a reawakening at some point, and we can come back to it. So there's no rhyme or reason. We don't have to follow a narrative. Well, there's a Red Foley record. It's the Salty Dog Rag, and it's the other side of that Milk Crate Rag or whatever it was we played the other day. But before I shelve this record, we might as well hear side B. And let's have to remember to switch this in, switch that on, and advance this fader. vk3sl. Testing.
Down yonder in the state of Arkansas, where my great-grandpa met my great-grandma. They drink apple cider and they get on a jag, and they dance all night to the Salty Dog Rag. They play an old fiddle like you never heard before. They play the only tune that they ever did know. It's a ragtime ditty and the rhythm don't drag. Now here's the way you dance to the Salty Dog Rag. 1 foot front, drag it back, then you start to fall a jack. You shake and you break and then you sag. If your partner zigs, you're supposed to zag. Your heart is light, you tap your feet in rhythm with that ragtime beat. Just pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and dance all night to the Salty Dog Rag. Down south beneath the old southern moon, the possum's up a tree and the hounds treat a coon. They'll hitch up the buggy to a broken down nag and go out dancing to the Salty Dog Rag. They tune up the fiddle and they're rosin up the bow. They strike a C chord on the old banjo, then holler, hang on, cause we ain't gonna drag. Now here's the way you dance to the Salty Dog Rag. 1 foot front, drag it back, then you start to fall a jack. You shake and you break and then you sag. If your partner zigs, you're supposed to zag. Your heart is light, you tap your feet in rhythm with that ragtime beat. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and dance all night to the Salty Dog Rag. 1 foot front, drag it back, then you start to fall the jack. You shake and you break and then you sag. If your partner zigs, you're supposed to zag. Your heart is light, you tap your feet in rhythm with that ragtime beat. Pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and dance all night to the Salty Dog Rag.
Red Foley.
He's good.
Yeah, he's not bad, is he?
He's all right.
He's all right. He does a good jobby there. He's got the vibe. And
The words on how to do the dance were pinched from a Danny Kaye song in the early 50s called Ball and the Jack.
Oh, yes. That was a bit of a jazz standard, Ball in the Jack, wasn't it?
Ought to be a bit that way.
Yeah, I think, didn't Louis Armstrong record Ball in the Jack?
He might have. Certainly Danny Kaye did.
Yeah. I think Danny Kaye might have put the words to it.
That's it.
Maybe. Yeah. Oh, very good. Yes, it did have very much the same. I can make that correlation now between
Words
the
are
two songs.
exactly the same.
Right. Yeah, and I think the tune's actually very similar as well.
Yes, it is.
It's just a revamp of that song, given a bit of ragtime viv. Okay, well, on the other table there is a Mills Brothers record, and it's a track called 60 Seconds Got Together.
Right.
And it tells us that there is just 4 boys and a guitar, and no musical instruments are used in this recording, and no one came to grief. vk3sl.
"60 seconds got together and they decided to become a minute. 60 minutes got together and they decided to become an hour. 24 hours kept ticking away, and they all voted to call it a day. But darling, in a day, there wasn't time to say how much I love you. So 7 days then got together, and they decided to become a week. As they grew and grew, then 52 weeks decided to become a year. That's why 60 seconds every minute, 60 minutes every hour and every day and every day and every week and every year. All I do is dream of you, my dear. 24 hours kept ticking away, and they all voted to call it a day. But darling, in a day, there wasn't time to say how much I love you so. 60 seconds every minute, 60 minutes every hour, every day and every year. All I do is dream of you, my dear.
Here we go, the Mills Brothers. 4 boys and a guitar.
Very talented.
They are.
I heard a group today very similar to the Mills Brothers. I'd never heard of them before.
Yeah.
It was on an old doo-wop program.
Yeah.
Singing a cappella. I can't remember the name of the song, but the group was called 3 Sharps and a Flat.
Oh, now I've heard of this mob. Are they sort of around now?
No. This is 50s, 40s, perhaps.
Yeah,
even.
it's 3 Sharps and a Flat. I reckon I've got a record of them somewhere.
Oh, very
I'm
good.
looking them up now because I'll see is they had a big hit called Skinny Do.
Could be. Well,
And
that's not what they played today.
That's Rhythm is another one. And I'm Through. I'm just getting Sentimental Over You. These are recordings that are coming up on the list.
Yeah.
Skinny Do Again. Well, we can just give one a try.
Yeah, well worth a listen.
That's the Rhythm is one here. That sounds like it could be upbeat. A track from 1940.
Okay.
So what we'll do, we'll just take a plunge, proverbial plunge into the unknown. 3 Sharps and a Flat, and a track called That's the Rhythm. vk3sl. VK3SL.
We got a tune that nobody knows, but we can't figure out how the darn thing goes. Does it go like this? Book, 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 the boogie. No, no, that's not it. That's that rhythm we mean. Now does it go like this? All the flatfoot blues you with. No, no, that's not it. That's that rhythm we mean. Now it's plain to see how it bothers me, fills me full of sighs and cries. You put two and two together, you do, and how you harmonize. Does it go like this? Tooty, 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 tooty. No, no, that's not it. That's that rhythm we mean. Stop, boys, look just what you're doing. This rhythm and jive you've beaten out will drive me through it. Rhythm, 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 rhythm. Bop, boom, 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 hey. More good, Jack. Yeah. Score me, Baldy.
Brilliant,
They're good.
aren't they? Three sharps on a flat. Oh, that's the rhythm, is the name of the song.
Now, did I not hear Tutti Frutti in the lyrics of that?
I heard it too.
And also then a Bob Babbo, like anything, hang on a minute, little Richard.
Yes,
1940, Frank.
1940.
I was about to say, there's influences there, and it certainly predates him.
It certainly does. And also the flat flute and flugie got a Guernsey in that song.
Fly.
Yeah.
And even, quite backbeaty.
It was.
Your little guitar licks there.
Interesting, isn't it? I wonder if they're onto something. Well, maybe we should hear another. There's one song that's sort of represented a lot here. It's a track called Skinny Doo.
You kept reading that.
Yeah, so it seems to be here. I don't know what it's going to be like, but I tell you what, I'm keen to find out. So let's go for the ride. We're listening to three sharps and a flat. VK3SL.
VK3JR.
Look who's on the avenue. Let me introduce to you Skinny Doo.
Skinny who?
Skinny Doo.
I never heard of it.
Have you seen Skinny Doo?
Do what?
Do the dance that's really new.
No, man.
Skinny Doo.
Skinny who?
Skinny Doo.
Tell me about it.
He never did do trucking. He don't like Susie Q.
No.
This dance he does is different.
Yeah.
Just plain old Skinny Doo.
What about it?
Boys and girls gather round. It's the talk of the town.
What's up?
Skinny Doo.
Skinny who?
Skinny Doo.
Well, tell me about it.
Here's the muggin'. Here's the ruggin'. And here's the swingin'. And here's the singin'. And here's the movin'. And here's the groovin'.
Look who's on the avenue, let me introduce to you Skinny Doo. Skinny who? Skinny Doo.
Have you seen Skinny do the dance that's really new? Skinny do, Skinny who, Skinny do. He never did the trucking, he don't like to the you. The dance he does is different, plain old Skinny do. A boy, a girl, a gather round, talk of the town.
Skinny, 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 skinny do. He never did do trucking, he don't like Suzy Q. This dance he does is different, just plain old Skinny do. Da 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 da. Skinny is the groovin', Skinny is the movin'.
And it fades out. Skinny do.
It's kind of like the Mills Brothers on steroids, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They've got that extra pep about them.
Even a few elements in there that I reckon might have been, borrowed by certain versions of Minnie the Moocher.
Yes, that's quite possible.
You're right.
Yes, although Minnie came well before that. So, but at the same time, it's, well, look.
She was in the 20s and 30s, wasn't she?
Yeah, Cab Calloway certainly credits himself as being, he believes his 1940s jiving was a precursor to rock and roll. I think a lot of people tried to make that claim. That's understandable. But yeah, it's most interesting, and particularly the earlier track when they definitely have a doo-wop reference there.
Oh yeah.
Tutti Frutti, wow, that's most interesting. So, and of course, the term rock and roll in popular culture was very first used by the Boswell sisters in 1934. It had absolutely nothing to do with rock and roll as we know it. But the term was very first used by them, and I think it was then used by, 20 years later by Alan Freed. And then, of course, I think Alan Freed was a disc jockey. I was reading this somewhere. And then, of course, the rest of it's history. I mean, but look, it's nothing to do with the style, but we can hear the term used in popular culture back in 1934. VK3SL.
Rock and roll, yeah. Rock and roll and rock away. Up and down, round and round we'll sway. We'll each swell in the spell of the rolling rock and rhythm of the sea. Rock and roll and rock along. Life is sweet, greeted with a song while we dance. There's romance in the rolling rock and rhythm of the sea. Tonight the moon hangs low. Hold tight or overboard we'll go. Rock and roll like a rocking chair. Laugh and smile while we drown each care in the tide. As we glide to the rolling rock and rhythm of the sea. Rock and rock away. Up, down, round, round with each swell. In the spell of the rolling, rocking rhythm of the sea. That blows, rolls and rocks along. Life is sweet, greeted with a song while we dance. There's romance in the rolling rock and rhythm of the sea. Tonight the moon hangs low. Hold tight or overboard we'll go. Rock and roll like a rocking chair. Laugh and smile while we drown each care in the is music to my ear. Rolling rock and rhythm of the sea.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so that's the very first use of the term rock and roll in popular music, and it's the name of the song, Rock and Roll, 1934, with the Boswell sisters. I've never heard three voices so evenly matched.
No, I know.
And
It's very hard to say who's who. You can just pick Connie.
Yes, Connie sort of takes the breaks usually, and often takes the lead part, but the other two are just so ideally matched. I'd only wish I could hear them in Phi.
I know,
because
I know.
all
That
they
would
record-
really test you.
Yes, that's right. We sort of lose the upper partials, and it'd be interesting to see if Mr. Prozoot or someone who's got access to the originals, those records never turned up in Australia, or they're very rare here, and I've never seen them. And but they had limited, but quite, they were circulated in America on Brunswick, and it would be great to hear as what could be drawn out of them, because I'd love to hear how the harmonies meld in the with the harmonics, and see if there is any differentiation, because they just sound completely like one voice.
One of the things I love about them that sorts them out from all other girly groups is that there's no edge to them.
No, they've got a really rounded sound.
Rounded sound, like the Andrews sisters are very talented, but there's an edge to them.
Yes, you're right, there is. And in the Boswell sisters, they begin and end everything exactly. It's almost uncanny.
It's uncanny.
And particularly
like Mary Ford singing with herself.
Yeah, that's right. And particularly when they get lazy on the beat, but they do it exactly the same time.
Right.
And this is the thing. This is the point of intrigue. Very few musicians have that intuition to know exactly when to cut loose, when to sit back on the beat. I suppose they just rehearsed a lot and they understood each other.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah, and they just probably worked really hard. But they're amazing musicians. Every time I hear them, I'm sort of reminded of that fact that they are just head and tail above anyone else I've heard. Particularly,
we used to have a bloke before Leighton took over the U3A Jazz. There's a guy called Graham Barber.
Oh yes.
And he said to me, or said to us one day, we've got this terrific vocal group of the 30s, 40s, 50s, and I didn't even know them.
Yeah.
And he just said these are the best, and he played them, and I was just knocked over as well.
It's great, yeah, and often very complex arrangements as well. They had a level of sophistication.
Made them all sound just so easy.
Yeah, they did. So we probably should feature more of them. There's a lot to draw from. Anyhow, we're back to the 78s, and there's an MGM record. This one here, unfortunately, will have to be a sacrificial play, I think, because the record's got a crack right through the middle, and it is. I think when I pick it off the turntable, it'll just break in two. So we'll play this.
Want to record it?
It's I don't think it's worth it. I think it's probably out there in the public domain. It's a recording of Art Mooney, and it'll be on the log anyhow. And it's a track called Silver Dollar.
It's on the.
You know this one?
Yeah, I know Art Mooney.
Yes.
When you take it off, you could have a look on the other side if it hasn't disintegrated.
it'll probably break in two, but we'll give it a go. No, it's the crack has gone right through, and it's just holding on by the paper. So we'll, but with the noise reduction, you probably won't even hear the crack. It's that good. But let's listen to this record, Silver Dollar, Art Mooney and the orchestra from 1950 Mumble.
You can throw a silver dollar down upon the ground and it will roll, because it's round, round, round. A woman never knows what a good man she's got until she turns him down, down, down. So listen, my honey, listen to me. I want you to understand that as the silver dollar goes from hand to hand, a woman goes from man to man. A woman goes from man to man.
A man without a woman is like a ship without a sail, a boat without a rudder, or a fish without a tail. A man without a woman is like a wreck upon the sand. There's only one thing worse in the universe, and that's a woman without a man. A woman without a man.
like a ship without a sail, a boat without a rudder, or a fish without a tail. A man without a woman is like a wreck upon the sand. There's only one thing worse in the universe, and that's a woman without a man.
You can throw a silver dollar down upon the ground and it will roll, 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 because it's round, round, round. A woman never knows what a good man she's got until she turns him down, down, down. So listen, my honey, listen to me. I want you to understand that as the silver dollar goes from hand to hand, a woman goes from man to man.
They always do.
A woman goes from man to man.
You know it's true.
A woman goes from man to man.
Art Mooney and the band and Silver Dollar.
Bit of a hit in the early 50s.
Sure. And that was on an MGM 78. Unfortunately, the record's not going to make it, I don't think. But I can flip the disc. I think it's Babyface on the other side.
Another big hit. I don't know. I think they might have had quite a good version, high-selling version of it.
Yeah.
Sort of community scene sort of sound.
Okay, sure. Look, I'll try and wrestle it if I can get the record.
Babyface.
Yes, that's right. It's a big hit in the 20s, 1926.
Yeah,
I think
is that
Jan
right?
Garber made a big hit of that.
Okay.
Got the 78 here somewhere, but look, let's see if we can flip the record. Oh, will it make it? Oh, yep, I got there. I think this will be the last one. Well, here, side B. And this is Art Mooney and the band. Yes, an Art Mooney revamp of a big hit in 1926, Babyface. We heard the 1948 version of the same song on an MGM 78. And for the sake of continuity and completion, we can take the TARDIS back to 1926 and in sharp relief hear the original. And it was a big hit in that year. A number of bands recorded, but my fave is a recording of the Ipana Troubadours. That's Sam Lannon and the band. So we might wind up where we began with a recording from the 20s, and then and then I'll play the Chopin Piano Sonata number 3, this remarkable recording with an 80-year-old Martha Argerich, well, she's 79 actually on this recording, recorded last year in an empty concert hall. But it's such an alive performance that beggars disbelief. It's quite extraordinary. It just shows what she didn't believe in getting old. She talked about that in the doco, incidentally. She said it was just a figment of the imagination.
Just a number of years.
Yeah, that's what she said. It's just a number. You're old as your imagination. And
there's a lot of truth in that, actually.
Oh, totally. Absolutely. In every sense there is. And people just convince themselves that they're old. And then, of course, they follow their own
becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It certainly does. Yeah. So it's all about attitude. But she's a living testament to someone who transcends age. So we'll hear her performance afterwards. So we'll follow on with this recording with Sam Lennon, and then I'll just cut to the chase and play the original, the Chopin. So
I'll drop off.
Okay, no worries.
Everyone, a good evening, and talk tomorrow night.
Indeed. Thank you.
Great evening, the K3OP.
Thank you, Franks.
JR is closing down.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. JR, and thank you, Mr. OP. It's been very good, as usual. We always enjoy your company, and it's just a nice way to spend the late afternoon. And many thanks to the listeners. And I've got a note here on the list from Mr. Pirate, so good afternoon to you. And thank you for tuning in.
Don't forget Mr. Wonderful.
And Mr. Wonderful, of course. Okay, thank you, folks. Here we have the Apana Troubadours, 1926, and Babyface, vk3sl.
Cutest little baby face. There's not another one could take your place. Baby face, my poor heart is jumping. You sure have started something, baby face. I'm up in heaven when I'm in your fond embrace. I didn't need a shove, 'cause I just fell in love with your pretty baby face.
Troubadours, Sam Lennon and the orchestra from 1926. Lewis James was the vocalist, and that was Babyface. Now we're just going to finish off tonight with a recording of Chopin's Piano Sonata number 3 in B minor, opus 58. Live performance recorded last year with Martha Argerich. This is VK3SL saying cheers and have a good evening. Truly astonishing performance of the Chopin Piano Sonata number 3, played by Martha Argerich, and she performed that in Hamburg last year to an empty concert hall. It really is a testimony to the fact that we, to some degree, can transcend age, and it's that drive, it's that essence that prevails. She really is in top form, and I think she's 79 years of age when she made that recording. This is vk3sl Test Missions on 160 on UHF, streaming online. At this point, we take our leave, and we look forward to your company tomorrow. Cheers for now.